Hello, good morning. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nurlaila Fitriani. I'm from IKIP Siluwangi English Study Program A3 2018. As you can see on the screen, our topic today is 10 stages in preparing your slide. My presentation will take 10 minutes, so let's get started. The first thing to do in preparing your slide is find out about the potential audience. So how you can find out your audience? There are several steps to find out your audience. The first is one, list attendance of your audience. You should be able to ask the organizer to give you a list of probable attendance at your talk. And then the second one is knowing nationality of your audience. This is so important because if your audience there are a lot of native in Q&A session, you can ask them to speak slowly. And then the third is look at the titles of the other talks. I suggest you to talk at the titles of the other talks. It will give you an indication of what the audience may be interested. And the last one is go to main talk to find another of the audience interest in your topic. You can make a few adjustments to make it more or less technical as appropriate. And then let's now move on to the second stages, that is knowing what's your key point. The third things you should know in key point is what problem you wanted to resolve, and then second one is you share your methodology, and then the last one is you share your result. Note that your key point should generally indicate what makes your research stand out. Next, the third stage is prepare a 2-minute talks. This thing will help you more comfortable while you present your research. The first thing to do is write some notes for your 2-minute present. And then the second one is using simple construction and sentences. And then the third is imagine you are going to speak to a group of friends rather than the other researcher. The fourth stage that you should do in preparing your slide is record and transcribe your 2 minutes. So after you prepare your 2-minute talk, you should record and transcribe your 2 minutes. There are 3 steps that you should do in these stages. The first one is record yourself during speaking, and then the second one is make sure you speak for 2 minutes. Don't go over 2 minutes. And while you're speaking, imagine that you are speaking with your friend to reduce your nervous. Next stage to preparing your slides is expand into a longer presentation. So after you make short presentation into minutes, you should expand into a longer presentation. There are several things that you do in these stages. They are transcribe your recording and then think how and where you need to expand what you have said. And then write down what you want to say, and the last one is organize what you want to say with several questions. Okay, the 6 stages in preparing your slide is practice with colleague. After you write a longer presentation, you should present your script in front of your friend or your family. Try to imagine that you are in presentation in front of other researcher, and then to make it is real, try to make this is real, make them to write a question to ask to you so you can prepare your answer to the real presentation. Let's move on to the 7 stages. Give your presentation a structure. Make sure you present from the beginning into ending. Let's start with your introduction, and then your methodology, and then your result, and then your discussion, and then the last one is your conclusion. Try to explain structure. Okay, the 8 stages to preparing your slide is create the slide. After you make your script for presentation, the next thing to do is create the slide. There are several things that you should remember in create the slide. The first is less complicated and quicker. And then try to visualize and recall something better, and then make abstract become concrete, and then attract attention the audience. Okay, the next one is modify your script. After you make a slide, please try to read again your script for presentation and modify your script. Add something that you want to add. Try to keep colloquial style in your speech. It will be much easier for you to talk during your presentation if you talk as you normally do in everyday life. Um, this bring me to the end of my first point. The last stages that you should do in prepare your slide is cut the redundant slide. After you make your slide, you should recheck your slide and cut redundant slide. Classify each point in your presentation as follows: absolutely essential, and then make sure that is important, and then include only if the time permits. Your aim is to focus only on what the audience wants to hear, so you don't need to include things simply because you think you should include them. Okay, that's all for me. Thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.